Nitya Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 11. So we have been hearing that how Kardama Muni and Devahuti, they were both so qualified. They were like-minded, qualified, so they are supporting each other. And they're giving support to each other in what the other wants to do. And in that way, they are both growing, you know. So it shows that the relationships, if we have good relationships between husband, wife, between family members, you know, then the family life can be peaceful, it can grow. Because when family members are supporting each other, then there is peace, and then there can be harmony, and in that then you can grow nicely. Tatreti krityam upashika yathopadesham yene same karshito tirir shayatma siddhayeta te krita manobhava darshitaya dinastad isha bhavanam sadarsham vichakshva. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Devahuti continued, "My dear Lord, I am struck by excited emotion for you. Therefore, kindly make what arrangements must be made according to the scriptures so that my skinny body, emaciated through unsatisfied passion, may be rendered fit for you. Also, my Lord, please think of a suitable house for this purpose." So they are in the ashram and she's become skinny, and, you know, because she was doing austerities, now she wants to have a family. So she's saying, you make the arrangements now. The Vedic literatures are not only full of spiritual instruction, but are also instructive in how to prosecute material existence very nicely, with the ultimate aim of spiritual perfection. So it's not that the Vedas are saying that you neglect your material life. No, we can't neglect it. You know why? Because we are in the body. So we very much have to accept that we are in the body. We have our physical, mental, emotional needs. But at the same time, we understand that we are inside the body. And at the end of life, we want to go back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, Devahuti asked her husband how to prepare herself for sex life according to the Vedic instructions. Sex life is especially meant for having good children. The circumstances for creating good children are mentioned in Kama Shastra, the scripture in which suitable arrangements are prescribed for factually glorious sex life. Everything needed is mentioned in the scriptures. Okay, so even how to have sex properly is there in the scriptures. So what sort of house and decorations there should be, what sort of dress the wife should have, how she should be decorated with ointments, scents, and other attractive features, etc. With these requisites fulfilled, the husband will be attracted by her beauty, and a favorable mental situation will be created. The mental situation at the time of sex life may then be transferred into the womb of the wife, and good children can come out of that pregnancy. So the consciousness of the husband and the wife is important to attract a proper soul, a good soul into the womb. So here is a special reference to Devahuti's bodily features. Because she had become skinny, she feared that her body might have no attraction for Kardama. She wanted to be instructed how to improve her bodily condition in order to attract her husband. Sexual intercourse in which the husband is attracted to the wife is sure to produce a male child, but sexual intercourse based on attraction of the wife for the husband may produce a girl. That is mentioned in the Ayurveda. When the passion of the woman is greater, there is a chance of a girl's being born. When the passion of the man is greater, then there is the possibility of a son. Okay, so here is the way how you can choose higher probability to have a girl or a boy. So Devahuti wanted the passion of her husband to be increased by the arrangement mentioned in the Kama Shastra. She wanted him to instruct her in that way. And she also requested that he arrange for a suitable house because the hermitage in which Kardama Muni was living was very simple and completely in the mode of goodness. And there was less possibility of passions being aroused in his heart. So they were in an ashram, where is you're going to get the mode of passion? So she's saying you make these arrangements so we can have a nice child. So everything we are getting in Bhagavatam, amazing, right? Text 12, Maitreya Vacha Priyaya Priyam Anivachan Kardamo Yogam Asthitaha Vimanam Kamagam Shatas Tarhi Eva Vira Chikarat. Maitreya continued, O Vidur, seeking to please his beloved wife, the sage Kardama exercised his yogic power and instantly produced an aerial mansion that could travel at his will. Now Kardama Muni, he's just a yogi, a sage. He's living in the forest in the ashram, but he has this siddhis. He has the siddhi. With the siddhi, he can just make a mansion which can fly, traveling. Here, the words yogam astita are significant. The sage Kardama was completely perfect in yoga as the result of real yoga practice. There are 8 kinds of perfection. So the real yoga, not here the word real yoga is put. And then when we do real yoga, can get 8 kind of siddhi. But of course, it takes a long time. We do not have that kind of time in this Kali Yuga, in this body. So the yogi can become smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest, or lighter than the lightest. He can achieve anything he likes. He can create even a planet. He can establish influence over anyone, etc. In this way, yogic perfection is achieved. And after this, one can achieve the perfection of spiritual life. So there's 8 mystic siddhis. What do you all think?
What do you say for magicians? They put you in illusion, is it?
Yeah, so I'm not even sure that they really have these siddhis, or do they just do the tricks, like just the trick, they create that illusion because they are so swift. They create that. So I don't even know if they have these siddhis, because to have these siddhis means you have to perfectly do yoga for thousands of years. And see, they can become smaller than the smallest. So it's not an easy thing to do. The yogi can become smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest, lighter than the lightest. He can get anything from anywhere. Like Prabhupada, when magician came to meet Prabhupada, that time there was no, I think, pomegranate in India. Pomegranate would be made in Afghanistan. So he just reached out and gave Prabhupada the pomegranate. Means because he had that yogic power. But he realized that his yogic power is nothing in relation to spiritual power. So what do you all think? Would be nice, no, to get all these siddhis? We can get anything we like, can make a planet, can influence anyone. What do you all say? Means we can control anyone. We can make them do whatever we want them to do. Any comments? Would anyone like to have these siddhis?
You have the siddhis, but will you get Krishna?
Good question. That's the most important question. So what do you think then?
No, I don't think so.
That's right. Very nice. Very good. Very good. Because what happens is sometimes when people get these siddhis, then they forget, they start the yoga because they're searching for the Paramatma. So they do all this. And then, so before they can actually reach Paramatma, before they reach the perfection of spiritual life, they get these siddhis. So then what happens, because these siddhis, you get so much power, right? Imagine you can influence other people. You can tell them whatever, you can make them do what you want them to do, or you can do so many wonderful things, then the yogi might forget Krishna. He might forget Krishna. And he might stop further going towards the Paramatma. He might just stop at this point. So as you put the correct question, even if you get the siddhis, will you get Krishna? That's the most important, because if you have Krishna, you have everything. Then we don't need anything separately. So that was the perfect way to think. Will I get Krishna? Even if I can influence over everyone, I have thousands, millions of people listening to me. But do I have Krishna? That's the most important question. Very good.
And they say actually many saints do have the siddhis, but they don't use it.
Yes.
Because they feel it's not to be used just like that, to attract people.
Yes, it's true.
Right?
Yes, it's true. Like the pure devotees, many pure devotees have these siddhis.
Yeah.
There's a devotee in our line called Rasikananda. He was the disciple of Shyamananda Prabhu. So Shyamananda Prabhu was the time just after Lord Chaitanya at that time. So not very long ago, probably around 400 years ago. Rasikananda would have been about, around 400 or 350, somewhere there. Pure devotee of the Lord. Then he has these mystic powers. He was at the river. He was river. He was shaving or something, and then somebody came and told him that, oh, there is one yogi come in the village. You want to meet him? He said, okay, sure, I can meet him. So he was sitting on the stone. So he flew with the stone to go meet the yogi. He flew with the stone, and he could even tame tigers. He would sit down on the tiger and go talk to the tiger, make the tiger devotees. So he had this Rasikananda. And sometimes he would show these powers. But the devotees, they don't show it. They don't emphasize on this, because their purpose, their whole consciousness is fixed on Krishna. So, sorry, we still had to finish the last line of the paragraph. So thus, it is not very wonderful for Kardama Muni to create a mansion in the air according to his own desire, to fulfill the desire of his beloved wife. He at once created the palace, which is described in the following verses. So Devahuti, she really served him. She served him. She dedicated her life to him. She was a princess living in the forest with him in the ashram. No maid servants. She became thin, not caring for her body, making sure he's okay. And then now it's now her desire, okay, get me a nice house. I want to have nice children. And so he's fulfilling her desire. How they are supporting each other, They're supporting each other. He's not saying, no. What are you talking? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just continue fixing my meditation and my devotional service. Don't bother me. No, he is caring about her, really caring about her. Sarva Kama Dugam Divyam Sarva Ratna Samanvitam Sarvardhi Upachayodarkam Manistamber Upaskritam. It was a wonderful structure, bedecked with all sorts of jewels, adorned with pillars of precious stones, and capable of yielding whatever one desired. It was equipped with every form of furniture and wealth, which tended to increase in the course of time. So he's out of his yogic power, like he didn't have money. He didn't have money or something, but he has this yogic power, which he can create these precious stones. He can get all these jewels. So that was his asset. So we are always thinking only with money we can buy this, but even with yogic siddhi, you can get all these things. The castle created in the sky by Kardama Muni may be called a castle in the air, but by his mystic power of yoga, Kardama Muni actually considered a huge castle in the air. To a feeble imagination, a castle in the sky is an possibility. But if we scrutinizingly consider the matter, we can understand that it is not impossible at all. So we might think how you can make a castle in the air. What are you talking about? So Prabhupada is saying, but you just consider, try to understand what is being said. Now, what Prabhupada is saying, if the Supreme Personality of Godhead can create so many planets, carrying millions of castles in the air, a perfect yogi like Kardama Muni can easily construct one castle in the air, isn't it? Krishna, he's created so many planets. They are all floating in the air. They're in the space, right? Everything is floating in the air. And inside the planets, there's so many palaces, so many. Now we don't have palaces, we have skyscrapers, tall buildings. And we say taller the better. So anyway, so why not? So why Kardama Muni cannot make one castle? So the castle is described as Sarva Kama Dugam, yielding whatever one desired. Yielding whatever one desired. It was full of jewels. Even the pillars were made of pearls and valuable stones. Okay, can you imagine? You have a big, big palace, and then the pillars, we just see cement and paint. But here it's made of pearls, valuable stones, jewels. These valuable stones were not subject to deterioration, but were everlastingly and increasingly opulent. We sometimes hear of castles thus bedecked on the surface of this also. The castles constructed by Lord Krishna for his 16,108 wives was so bedecked with jewels that there was no need of lamplight during the night. Krishna's palaces in Dwarka, there were so many jewels that no need to switch on the light. The jewels would give the natural light. So this is the opulence of the before ages. And yet we say that we are more, our standard of living is higher, our quality of life is higher. Here the houses are made of jewels and palaces, whereas our houses are made of cement and iron. And they also compare I've heard some devotees say before people would eat in golden plates. Here now we are eating in paper plates, plastic plates. And yet we say, when we're out and about, you're outside, oh, it's a disposable. So then, and yet we say that we are more cultured, or more standard of living is higher than before times. Anyway, so anyway, everybody might have their own opinion on this. I'm just stating my opinion, and everyone has a right to state theirs. So Divyopakaran, what is that? Divyopakara nopetam sarvakala sukhavaham patikabhihi patakabhir vichitrabhir alankritam sragbhir vichitra malyabhir manju sinjat sat angrihibhihi Dukula Shoma Kausheyer Nana Vastrer Virajitam. The castle was fully equipped with all necessary paraphernalia, and it was pleasing in all seasons. It was decorated all around with flags, festoons, and artistic work of variegated colors. It was further embellished with wreaths of charming flowers that attracted sweetly humming bees, and with tapestries of linen, silk, and various other fabrics. Upari Vinyasta Nilayeshu Prathak Prathak Shipte Kashipu Bihi Kantam Paryanka Vya Janashanehe. The palace looked charming with beds, couches, fans, and seats, all separately arranged in 7 stories. It is understood from this verse that the castle had many stories. The word upari vinyasta indicate that skyscrapers are not newly invented. Even in those days, millions of years ago, the idea of building many-storied houses was current. They contained not merely 1 or 2 rooms, but many different apartments, and each was completely decorated with cushions, bedsteads, sitting places, and carpets. Tatra tatra vinikshipta nana shilopashobhitam mahamarakata sthalya justam vidruma vedibihi. The beauty was enhanced by artistic engravings here and there on the walls. The floor was of emerald with coral daisies. Wow, the floor was of emerald with coral daisies. At the present moment, people are very proud of their architectural art, yet floors are generally decorated with colored cement. It appears, however, that the castle constructed by the yogic powers of Kardama Muni had floors of emerald with coral daisies. Imagine walking on emerald and coral. Dvashu vidruma dehalya bhatam vajra kapatavat sikharesha indra nileshu hema kumber adhishritam. The palace was very beautiful with its coral thresholds at the entrances and its doors bedecked with diamonds. Gold pinnacles crowned its domes of sapphire. Wow. The coral thresholds at the entrance and its doors are bedecked with diamonds. The doors have diamonds on it. The domes of the palace are golden with sapphire. The threshold is of coral. So it's really, really very opulent. Can't even imagine the value of it in today's world. Chakshusmat Padma Ragar Vajrabhitishu Nirmite Justam Vichitra Vaitaner Maharher Hematora Nehe. With the choicest rubies set in its diamond walls, it appears as though possessed of eyes. It was furnished with wonderful canopies and greatly valuable gates of gold. So the gates are golden, not of iron. The gates are golden and the walls, there is rubies and diamonds on the walls. Artistic jewelry and decorations giving the appearance of eyes are not imaginary. Even in the recent times, the Mughal emperors constructed their palaces with decorations of jeweled birds with eyes made of valuable stones. The stones have been taken away by the authorities, but the decorations are still present in some of the castles constructed by the Mughal emperors in Delhi. The royal palaces were built with jewels and rare stones resembling eyes, and thus at night they would give off reflective light without need of lamps. So, very, very opulent. Let's stop here for today. Did anyone wanted to comment anything?
Never seen, never heard of such. Yeah.
Yeah, so opulent, right? And then who would imagine, if any other girl would be there, she would say, no, I don't want to marry this yogi. He does not even have a proper house, no servants. I don't want to marry him. But here, Devahuti, she had heard about Kardama Muni from Narad Muni. She got attracted to him, married him, and he's giving her the best of things now. So, yeah, very opulent. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Thank you. Hare Krishna.